too.
Yeah.
I gotta hit live on my button to make Instagram and all the things go. What happens if your worst case scenario
comes true?
Well, I just did a keynote speech to Roger Love's. Did you know I was doing that?
I did. They did. That's why I was like, why are you looking at me? Like,
because Roger Love's, making sure you're paying attention.
Yes, I'm paying attention.
Are you? No, I'm kidding. I would never snap at you.
Maybe.
I just did a keynote for Roger Love's community, which was amazing. We had like 50 people on. I went 2 hours. I was supposed to go an hour and a half, but they had so many questions. It was amazing to keep people for that long. I was trying a new setup. So normally I was sitting when I was just kind of having this conversational teaching with people. But for this one, because it's Roger Love, he's the #1 voice coach in the world. I'm trying something different. I decided to do a new setup where I was standing. We took out the coffee table, turned the camera that way, and I was able to stand, which changed everything for me because I felt like I was on an actual stage connecting with people, sharing with people. It was incredible. Speech was supposed to start at 1, got on at 12:30 to do a sound check, make sure everything was good. Everything sounded great. Mic was set up, ring light, perfect, knew my angles and my lines of how much space I had. Good to go. Then, 1 o'clock, we're on. We're live. She says, and welcome, Lisa Pezik. We can't hear you. You're muted. I'm like,
you're muted.
I'm not muted. I'm like, it's on your guys' end. And they're like, nope. They're like, you're not muted on our end. And I'm like, what?
So they could hear. They could hear, but
super low. She said, you sound like you're far away in a wind tunnel in the distance of the night on the moon.
That's weird. That's odd.
And I'm like, what? She didn't say on the moon in the distance of the night. But she said it sounded very quiet. And I thought, why? I said, I literally didn't touch anything. So I'm like, babe, hang on a second. So they're live. There's like 50 people waiting for me to start my keynote. And they have no sound. So you had to come down. You tinkered with a few things.
I was wrestling the dogs.
You were trying to keep the cat quiet downstairs, the dog
quiet upstairs.
And then we get a call like 10:30 this morning. Oliver doesn't feel good. He comes home and he's throwing up. And I'm like, oh boy, this is life. So you're upstairs with Oliver and the dogs. The cat is locked in the laundry room because all he does is scream and they can't hear me. So I'm like, hang on, let me get my technician to come
/ hubby
and see if we can get this on. So you did. You came down, you tinkered, which was so weird because I didn't touch anything, but you tinkered with a few things and you got it to work.
I think maybe, did you go out of Zoom and come back in?
I did, but that still didn't change it.
But I thought you told me that. Yeah, but I thought you said if you.
Anyway. You got it to work.
Yes.
So I was so worried. This community doesn't know me. They don't know the caliber of speaker that I am. They don't know who I am. They don't know anything. And this is the first impression that I'm making in this like beloved community who I greatly respect. I was so worried that they were all going to leave. And I was, because it was a good probably 10 minutes.
Yeah, by the time I came down and then, probably not.
So on the fly, I edited. I always start with story. It's always how I start my keynotes. But I was like, look, guys, the worst fear that we have in our brain that we think is going to end us and we're never going to survive, it just happened. And here I am standing, going with the flow, able to tell you that you will be okay. And then I launched right into my story and off we went. And they stayed for 2 hours. They're only 60 minutes. They stayed for 2 hours on this thing, asking me question after question. Like, it was absolutely incredible. And I think that piece of humanity, it's never about the mistake or it's never about the blip. It's about how you handle it and how you handle people
Mhm.
that make the world a difference. That is your brand emotion. That is what people remember. That is what makes you human.
Yeah.
So if I would have gone on and I would have started blaming, I don't know who I would blame, but if I would have started blaming, oh, my husband, he set this up, and what you guys, what do you mean? We did a check. It's on, no, it's on your end. It's
your
on
fault.
your end. It's your fault. If I would have started blaming, what
would've-
kind of
yeah.
emotion would that have shown?
Negativity.
Right? If I would have said, oh, great, well, now my whole keynote's, ruined,
Messed up.
right? Or if I would have been flustered and I would have taken that on the audience, that wouldn't have been very good,
Ruh-roh.
right? We have to control what we can control, and that is our feelings and our reactions to things. And I was just gracious. I said, look, see, we had a blip. We're back. All right, let's go.
But you're a pro. That you. It's not that. I know. It is. Yeah. I think the biggest thing, like for myself, when shit hits the fan, is you have to accept it, and you just have to go. This is totally out of my control. It's not my fault. This happens, and then I just for me, I just breathe and just be like, oh well.
Well,
okay,
I joked.
let's deal with it.
I joked and I said a piece of my keynote was that you have to ask for help, right? It's not a how, but a who. So you start going, well, who can help me with this?
Yeah.
And I said, see, I said, what you guys didn't see was I took myself off camera, I muted myself, and I went, babe, can you help me? And you came down, and then Amy was like, what if you don't have a babe? And I said, well, if you weren't home for some reason, I would have gone back to my old setup. I would have gone out of the Zoom. I would have come back. I would have sat down here.
Yeah, I think
I would have put in headphones if I had to, and I would have just given the keynote like this, like I normally do Zoom. Like I would have went back to what I know, and similar, where it's like I can't. It's exactly to your point. I can't fix something I don't know how to fix.
I can only
So I
try
can only
something
go back
different.
to
what
like
I
there
know.
was no way in heck I was leaving that thing and not giving that keynote.
Yeah.
I said even worst case, I could have went in from my phone and I could have paired in from my phone if I was having computer issues or whatever the problem was. So
now, I know what it was now. Well, two things. One, the Zoom wasn't connecting to your Yeti mic. And I think that had to do with something with you going out and coming back in. And then two, I think because you had the note board in front of your computer here, I think for some reason your mic is in the front of your computer.
It probably is.
So you had like this whole section in front. You can't see it, but like down here, covered, and your voice was going around it, which would make that sound. Would be like, oh, you're in a tunnel.
On the move.
I don't know where my mic is, but I'm sure wherever it is. Maybe it's here. If I did this right now, maybe I just went into a tunnel. I don't know.
I wondered about it, but
that's what it would have been.
Yeah,
I think if you moved that board, you would have been.
I had my board. I had my. That's the beauty of doing a new keynote and doing it from home.
But
I had my little cheat sheet notes, which was good. So I was. 90 minutes is a long time for a brand spanking new keynote. So I had my little words there that prompted me and where I wanted to go next. And there was so much goodness I wanted to get in. I didn't want to forget the stories that I wanted to tell and what I wanted to put in. So we had the board there, which they couldn't see, which was great. But sometimes what happens when the worst case scenario happens, all the things that you fear, it might happen.
Yep.
It's how you handle it and that you keep going is the most important thing. I always say the only way that you don't win, the only way you lose is if you quit. Right? And I wasn't quitting on them and I wasn't quitting on the message because it wasn't about me. It was about them.
Yep.
And it was about their dreams and their message. And the technology is just secondary when we figure it out. So I just thought, as it's the new year and you're planning your goals and you're already maybe taking action on the goals that you want in your business or your life, there are going to be some roadblocks. There are going to be some bumps that come up. But what you learn about yourself and not letting it stop you is the message that I thought was important to share today. So see, even me who talks all the time and has things figured out and knows what to do, even me, I had a blip today and out of my control. And we fixed it. And onward we went. That's it.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you for babe.
Babe.
You know it's never good when I say babe.
No,
We survived. I love you.
I love
All
you.
right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.